And so, it's the final Friday of what's been a superb League of Ireland season. I'm in Tolka Park. There'll be no football played here on Friday, but there will be a lot of Shelbourne fans here during the game and maybe hoping to convene here in the hours after the game, depending on what happens in Derry. Just 300 Shelbourne fans are able to go to the Brandywell for what's a title decider, just not the title decider we thought it was going to be across the season. I think there was a feeling it would be a repeat of 2014 when Dundalk and Cork City met on the last day. That was the top two, the home team needing to win the title. I mean, this is the first title race, the first proper title race we've had since then, and that seemed like maybe the perfect last day finale. But there's been more to it than that. Other teams involved, 4, 5, 6, depending on your interpretation, but now there's just two, and it's not Derry City involved. So the situation for Shelbourne is this: they need to win in Derry on Friday and it's game over. That's actually the most straightforward permutation. If they drop points and Shamrock Rovers beat Waterford at home, then Rovers are champions. Now obviously if Rovers drop points to Waterford, then it actually doesn't matter what happens in Derry. I think it's fitting, it's gone all the way. I think some people here at Shelbourne thought maybe on Sunday in Dundalk that they might be champions without having to kick a ball on that day. But I think for the neutral, for the league authorities trying to figure out what to do with the trophy, there's a replica trophy being made now. It is the perfect scenario in many respects. And for Shelbourne, it's a dream scenario. Start of the season, 25-1, definitely not being talked about as potential champions, maybe European qualification, 7th in their first year on the Damien Duff, 4th last year. Maybe the step forward is to be solid top 3. Instead, I mean, they have been, I suppose, the story of the season. Like, they have probably been hung over the title race. Damien Duff's dominant personality has been a factor. They've been leading, they've been out front all the way, and they've lost two of their best players, Will Jarvis, Gavin Malloy. They lost their form, and yet 2 wins here back to back has put it firmly in their hands. But there's a reason Shamrock Rovers are favourites. They've been here before, not maybe in this type of title race, but when it has come to the crunch in this season, they know how to win games. They've won 6 out of their last 8. Could have been 7 if it wasn't for that late penalty in Derry. In good form in Europe as well. The club does have some Tolka Park history, not maybe a very happy history. The last time they won 4 in a row, the first time they won 4 in a row, they moved here in 1988 after leaving Milltown. The greed that took them away from their spiritual home. The club lost its way. It's been a long road back. I think, with this title race and the Shelbourne story, and of course I think media-wise we're all wrapped up in it, what's maybe just slipped under the radar is that if Shamrock Rovers do win this league, they're doing something that has never been done before. And maybe in a strange way, it would be a lot more satisfying to do it this way. Even though they haven't been at their best this season, I think Stephen Bradley has said it, it won't go down as a vintage season for Shamrock Rovers. But if they get over the line, having not led at any point in the season, which in itself is sort of a remarkable statistic, it might go down there as maybe one of the best Shamrock Rovers days they've ever enjoyed. So what happens? I think if we've learned anything this season, is that predictions are a dangerous game, and we can't just assume that the story of the night is going to be shaped by what the top 2 do. It's a season of drop points. People assume Waterford are going to lose in Tallaght. I understand where that comes from, but that might annoy them a little bit. They did win there earlier in the season, Keith Long's side, and they have players who might enjoy a little bit of space, might enjoy the fact that Rovers have to go for it. Clubs like going to Tallaght. It's a great arena to sort of go and play in, and maybe a bit of liberation. They could be more dangerous than people assume, but I think Derry is the more interesting one. They've beaten Shelbourne comfortably in the FAI Cup in the Brandywell recently, but they would have assumed maybe a couple of weeks back that this would be their day, this would be their title decider before they go to a cup final in 9 days' time. The cup final is their priority now. Yes, they can finish in the top 3 and qualify for Europe automatically, but that's sort of out of their hands. If Rovers don't lose to Waterford, and if St Patrick's Athletic win in Sligo, admittedly a very tough game, but still it's possible Derry City, as the night goes on, realise that they can't finish in that top 3. And they also have a pitch that's a little bit of a health hazard. There's no getting away from it. They're already missing 1 or 2 players for the cup final. Do they want to lose any more? So I would imagine we'll see a focused Derry City side, but it may not necessarily be a 100% full strength Derry side. And Shelbourne have to suddenly, somehow try and sort of capitalise on that. Now look, against Drogheda here, Drogheda were under strength, and in some respects it didn't matter. The nerves kicked in the last 30 minutes. They just about got it done. And I feel almost regardless of who the teams are playing against, they have to control their own mentalities, their mindset. I just hope that either way, I mean, it's been a memorable season. We've got 2 games televised on Friday. That hasn't happened before. I just hope that the last night delivers the twists and turns, the cap the year. And really, with the situation that we have, it's hard to see it being a dull one. Hopefully a season to remember will finish with a night to remember.